Name's Ammon Wilson, and I'm going to teach you what the difference between UI and UX is. UI, standing for user interface, is mainly usually like you're on Netflix, usually scroll through the menus. Sometimes it looks visually pleasing, usually on certain websites. While on the other hand, UX is more of like a simple, to the point kind of view with the the layout, kind of like this website right here. I wouldn't call it like a beautiful UI, but it functions pretty well and is pretty efficient. Okay, so I know a question might ask like, is there really a difference between the two? I would say yes and no. Yes, in the similarities where, of course, they're kind of the similar where they're trying to, of course, look pleasing to a user for one way or the other. And while on the other hand, like I said earlier, they're for different purposes. Okay, here's an example of I would say a UI, but a little blend of UX. So it looks pretty pleasing scrolling down. You see like all formatted pretty good, pleasing to the eye, especially when we inspect it and turn it to a mobile viewing. It still looks pretty good. Scrolling down and up and going back, and it's pretty responsive as well. That's why I say it's a hint of a UX user experience, trying to get the user what they want in a good formatted way. Code Academy, I would say, in a way, is also a mix of the two, while more on the UX side. So it does look visually pleasing, but actually, I would say it's more on the UX side, where even though it has some pretty cool effects, it is more simple and to the point with the layout. I'm going to look at some code real quick. Okay, all right. So okay, besides this part with the data, um, so it's all just simple enough and to the point with the let's look actually okay, besides the point. Um, but the point is, it is simple with the layouts. The this bar right here. Okay, and now with the BYU website, of course, it's all. I would say it's a still a blend between the two, like a kind of half and half. And of course, it looks pretty good. And of course, with looks pretty good as a mobile view as well. I'll bring up some more examples later, but I'll going to mention a one that doesn't work well, and it's mine. I made a website, my last web development class. Looking at this, it's pretty good ish, like pretty average, not the best, but it's like it's kind of a mess a bit. And it's like yet the best view is like 25%. Like sure, visually I think in a way it looks good enough, but of course like the layout is could be improved on. I mean, I am taking this class to improve, but it is still responsive in a way. Okay. And of course, like this is all simple, like a UX design, all simplified. Okay. And this one, I would say it's more on the UI side, seeing all for more of like a looks than rather than just it, rather than focusing on like simple or the simple structural design of a UX website. And of course, with a it was optimized for a mobile viewing as well. And of course, like with the code itself, it's all just it's all organized perfectly and optimized for a whole mobile viewing. So I would say that is a good example, good some good examples. Okay, so I know it's like kind of weird going back. So user interface, anything that facilitates the interaction between user and the machine. So of course, obviously, interacting with each other, it's pretty interesting. But this one is interaction between the users and the system, making it easier for the user with their experience. You could say. I know it's like kind of weird going back. So after learning all, like seeing different examples and now going back to a site like this, it's pretty good of blending both styles and not trying to focus on one style of a like website itself, where it's still organized with its code. It's a lot of lines, of course, but it's pretty organized as well. And this one, of course, is pretty on the more UX side, but having a little bit of the UI idea. And this one is, of course, more on the more of a bit of both as well. And of course, my website that I made like 2 semesters ago, for being my first website, like official website, not too bad, but there is room for improvement. Um, okay. So, in conclusion, it's pretty interesting seeing all the differences between the differences with UI and the UX. Some of them blending together, some of them focusing more on one than the other. Um, if there's one thing I would always keep in mind is to always make it easy for the user for the user experience to be perfectly organized so they get what they want and but like what more like when they want it or and also that it's smooth, there's no problems. I mean, I'm still learning, of course, and I hope that you all have learned something about the differences between the two, the similarities, and ways to improve a website, or maybe make a website in the future. And thank you for watching, and hope you guys have a great day.